Does anybody in here think they have more belly fat than they would like to have?
What?
Right, everybody does, right? Right, a little bit. I mean, even if you're pretty close, you know, you're going to want to lean out, because that's the one thing when you finally get to go to the beach, you're at the pool. Many of us are like, I don't want to take my shirt off. You know, I don't really want everybody to see that. You know, and I have this chart I use in the office on our first follow-up visits with patients. It's a picture of like 9 guys and 9 ladies next to each other with their body fat percentages in different, you know, shapes, and they're in, you know, swimsuit for the guys and bikini for the ladies. So now ladies usually run between somewhere around, you know, upper teens to maybe 35% body fat. So 35% is more voluptuous. You know, upper teens means lean belly, maybe some side cuts on the abs. You might see a hint of a six-pack, but not a whole lot on ladies. You know, for guys, again, ladies can be up to 35. For guys, if I showed you 35% body fat, it's going to be this, you know, with the belly button maybe bulging out a little bit, and a lot of the stuff around the waist, you know, the love handles, that type of thing for guys. So guys should really be somewhere around 10 to 20% body fat, you know, as their health. You know, the super lean, veiny bodybuilder that everybody might in today's world look at as like a, you know, this is my goal. It's really not what you want. Those people they have maybe 3%, 2% body fat. You know, they don't tend to live very long. You know, and the competitive bodybuilders that are in that world, they've used so many steroids and ruined their heart and all sorts of other things. They die in their 50s. You know, that's kind of most of them's age time out. So guys at 10% body fat are going to have, you know, they can see their side abs, they can see the cuts here for the middle. They don't have a lot of the veiny stuff, and they don't have any of these, you know, these things on the side here that we'll see stand out. So that's where you want to start at the low end. Maybe 20% is high end. Now, my brother-in-law used to be a ranger, and he used to run the swamp school down in Louisiana for survival school. So, and I've talked to him some about this, and he'll point out that he said he used to watch the guys get off their helicopter, get off the plane, and he could point out the 3, 5, 7, you know, maybe up to 9, 10% body fat guys, and he'd go, they're not making it through the night. You know, so in that scenario, you got to have your underwear and a pocket knife and basically survive in the swamp for 3 nights. You know, so at 53, 55 degree water temperature, right? So those super veiny, skinny guys, they can't make it through the first night because they get cold and they burn all their fat, and then they crash. So somebody's got to pull them out of the water. So we kind of need to think of that. We don't need to get through the swamp, but you don't want to be so lean, trying to look super cut and all that, that you don't have survival fat. Let's put it into more of a real world for us. What if you got COVID and you ended up somehow in the hospital and you couldn't eat, you couldn't drink, and they're not feeding anything? 2-3 days of no calories, you're going to get sick just because of that, because you have no reserve. Okay, if you end up throwing up for 3 days because the kids or grandkids gave you something, you know, you're already burned your reserves and you can't recover. So 10 to 20% body fat for guys is what we want to shoot for. Most guys that we see are somewhere above that when they come in Western culture. As we know, about 60 to 65% of us qualify as either obese or, you know, in that world, in our world. And those extra body fat translate to traditional medical illness for us. So we work with you know, time restricted eating with guys. Really, it's that concept of like, I'm going to wait till lunch maybe for my first calorie intake, not necessarily every day, but 3 to 4 days a week. You know, we can augment that with some ketone esters, that nice tool that is a very highly processed natural fat that our body is designed to burn and triggers its own production of ketones when it fasts. But you can actually add some ketones to help you have that energy while you choose not to eat a full meal. Now, ketones themselves like this are exogenous, meaning they don't mean you're burning fat, but they can help you not add the calories in around your meals or even before you do eat, to help you eat a little less so you are able to start burning your own fat. So that's one thing we add in. Exercise does not have to be extreme.